This was a torture method used exclusively by the Germans. The deserter was chained by his ankles. The other end of the chain was hammered into a boulder. His comrades left him with only a handful of bullets and a small ration of food. They ordered him to stay behind and block Soviet troops. As soon as his comrades were gone, the soldier grabbed his sniper rifle and began loading rounds. But by the time he aimed, his comrades had already vanished into the woods. Now his top priority was to break free from the chain. In desperation, he raised his sniper rifle and fired at the lynx. Bang! A deafening shot. Sharp pain made him cry out. The chain was far too thick. He couldn't break it and had to think of another way. He searched his pack and found a pair of glasses. An idea suddenly struck him. He carefully removed the lenses with a small knife, pressed the two lenses together, then snapped off a piece of pine branch and scraped out the sticky resin with his blade. He chewed the resin until it softened, then smeared it around the edge of the lenses. He inserted another piece of pine branch and poured water between the lenses. He had created a crude magnifying glass. He placed some moss on the iron spike and focused sunlight onto the moss with the lens. Soon the moss began to smoke and catch fire. The soldier quickly piled on dry twigs to make the flames burn hotter. Once the sticks turned to ash, he poured cold water over the stone. The sudden shift in temperature made the rock crack with a loud snap. He tried pulling out the spike, but it wasn't enough. Still, he refused to give up. He kept repeating the process. The nail slowly became more exposed. Before long, a large gap formed in the rock. A few more attempts, and he could finally pry it free. By midday, the soldier was crouched beside the stone eating canned food. Suddenly, he heard an engine rumbling in the distance. He quickly raised his sniper rifle to look. It was a Soviet army truck passing through. Luckily, they didn't notice him. He knew time was running out, but worse, he was nearly out of branches. If he couldn't escape soon, even if the Soviets never found him, he would freeze to death in the brutal winter. Even worse, his food was almost gone. Even the water in his metal bucket was down to the last cup. This was his final chance. He poured the water onto the rock, then hurriedly grabbed his tools and pried at the stone. But the nail still wouldn't move. He emptied all his bullets and collected the gunpowder in a tin can. He poured the powder into the hole, covered it with a rock, then tossed in the burning moss and ducked behind a big stone. Boom! The gunpowder blew out with thick white smoke. He rushed over to check, but the spike still wouldn't shift. Furious, he kicked it twice. It still didn't move. He looped his rifle strap around a nearby rock, grabbed the rock with both hands, and smashed it down against the spike. From day into night, he kept hammering. His hands were torn and blistered. At last, he gave it one more strike. The spike began to loosen. With a final pull, he ripped it free. He was finally free.